Good evening. Monday, September 11th, 2023. Morocco earthquake. Death toll passes 2,800 as foreign aid teams fly in. Authorities accept help from some countries, but others offered not yet take up as search for survivors runs out of time. The death toll in the Moroccan earthquake has passed 2,800 people as a limited number of foreign aid and rescue teams join an intensifying race against time to find any remaining survivors high in the Atlas Mountains, where many villages remain inaccessible. Moroccan authorities said that had responded favorably to offer of help from visiting search and rescue teams from Spain, Qatar, Britain, and the United Arab Emirates, but they were yet to accept further offers of aid from other countries, despite the urgent nature of the disaster, including from France and from Turkey, which experienced a deadly earthquake in February. Its president Recep Tayyip Erdogan said it would help with all means if its offer was accepted. The state news agency said Moroccan authorities have carried out a precise assessment of needs on the ground, given the fact that not coordination in such situations could be counterproductive. Morocco's King Mohammed and 16, no, 60 thanked the countries uh, for the offer of help. Friday's 6 bound 8 magnitude quake, Morocco's deadliest in more than 6 decades, struck in the isolated cluster of a mountainous village 45 miles south of the Marrakesh and shook infrastructure as far away as the country's northern coast. State TV reported that the death toll had risen to 2,862, with 2,562 people injured, and there were expectations that the toll could rise as rescue teams reached remote villages high in the mountains. Drone footage from local television channels showed the traditional mud brick houses completely flattened. Until now, we have found survivors, only that on their beds buried under the rubble. The smell of corpses is very, very strong. We still have no electricity and no water, said Aziz, a villager from Ijukak, near the quake's eccentric. He said an emergency worker had finally arrived in the village days after the earthquake. Hamlets in the hills around Yuzukak remained inaccessible. Even the mules and the donkeys couldn't get up. There are hug boulders blocking the roads, as he said. Driving high into the mountains, the Guardian witnessed a string of flattened villages and hamlets with little sign of help. In places, the dirt roads showed signs of fractures from the quake. In Tafegegat, once home to about 400 people, villages said 90 had died. Everyone encountered had the sort of losing family members, some almost all of their family. One farmer survived only because he made it into the door more quickly than his wife and the other relatives who perished in the rubble. Another man said he was the only survivor from his family. In the hamlet of Tarosti, it was a similar story of the 12 houses that were once there. Not a single one was left standing. Even ambulances had not reached it yet. Bodies of 6 people were dug out by neighborhoods and carried down the mountains to where cars could take them to hospital. Footage shared by the Moroccan government on social media showed the soldiers digging frantically among a towering pile of rubble and using dogs in the faint hope of finding any remaining survivors as bodies shrouded in the blankets were leaning up nearby. Mainly feared that he combined difficulties of accessing remote mountains, villages as delayed emergency response, heavily reliant on approval from the royal palace were impending rescue efforts. Local television channels showed the images of military helicopters flying over mountainous areas close to the epicenter, hurling aid from the craft. Civilian rescuers described the rushing to reach remote villages while many across the peaks of the Atlas Mountains remained inaccessible. Villagers from across the remote Al-Hawzus region said that they had dug out the rubble with their bare hands to free the trapped neighborhoods, sometimes too late. The villagers helped dig through the rubble and search for survivors, said Mustafa Abu, a volunteer aid worker from the region who was in the villages of Azgul. Right now, the areas that remain hardest to reach are the rural communities of Aizukak, Igil, and Akbar, close to the center of the earthquake. Some aid has reached the town of Ijukak, but the area also includes smaller hamlets further up in the mountains. If we can't get there by car, we will take food supplies up there using motorbikes or donkeys. The Moroccan Prime Minister Aziz Akinosh, whose families include the survival of the deadly earthquake in Agadir in 1960, say the countries could be proud of the spontaneous solidarity of Moroccans. Omar Sadoun, a civil society activist speaking from Casablanca, described his communication with the residents of remote mountains villages in Al-Ahazuz. The situation is catastrophic. Many houses completely crumbled, as these were homes largely made of mud bricks. When they collapsed, they also buried and topped the people, which also makes the possibility of finding people alive more difficult. There are many that but it is very difficult to evaluate the number of them. Residents of the isolated villages high in the peaks of the Atlas Mountains were dependent on aid deliveries for water and the basic food. He said, and situation made more complicated by the loss of electricity resources and the ongoing issues with telephone networks. Anyone that had many remaining phone battery left used in it to demand help, Sadun said. Some mountain villages such as Talat and Yaqub, 60 miles south of the Marrakesh, which lies close to a main road from the ancient city, had begun to slowly clear access, but villages such as Akbar, far further south, remained completely inaccessible, he said. Merdad Sassani, a professor of civil and environmental engineering at Northwest University in the US, say the cheaper mud bricks house that predominate throughout the villages increased the risk of fatalities during an earthquake. Residents and experts of the affected region have long pointed to neglect by the state, particularly a lack of basic infrastructure across all Azuz. These types of structure are very brittle. Many they don't have the capacity for flexibility and the movement required during an earthquake, meaning they would crumble, Sazani said. In addition, he said, the clay tip material used to build homes increased the suffocation risk of inhabitants trapped under the debris, as when the homes collapsed, it did not allow for any air pocket they could allow survivors to continue to breathe. These homes have heavy walls that carry the weight of the roofs. When these come down, it leads to a higher likelihood of casualties, he said.
Thousands killed in a massive earthquake in Morocco. The death toll rising tonight as first responders try to reach remote villages in search of survivors. Hello and thank you for joining us. You're watching Eyewitness News live on ABC 7, Hulu Live, and wherever you stream. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Michelle Fisher. The death toll continuing to climb after a rare and powerful earthquake strikes Morocco. More than 2,000 people now dead.
With at least 2,000 more left injured, most of them in critical condition. This video capturing the terrifying moment when the quake struck last night. The 6.8 magnitude earthquake is the strongest to hit the North African country in more than 120 years.
Crews have yet to reach remote areas of the country hit hard by the quake. Many villages losing power and cell service are largely cut off from the rest of the world there.
As ABC's Tom Soufi Burridge reports, many buildings in Morocco are decades, if not centuries old, so not designed to withstand earthquakes.
Residents in Marrakesh just starting to assess the damage caused by the most powerful earthquake to hit Morocco in 120 years. The 6.8 magnitude quake sent people fleeing from homes and restaurants in terror late Friday. This camera capturing the moment the quake struck. People running for safety as dust and debris rains down from above.
There are fears of aftershocks.
One person suffered a minor injury when Zahir Muqtafi's house was destroyed by the quake. Thank God there were no other people here, he says. Their fate would have been death. It happened in Morocco's Atlas Mountains. The quake's epicenter about 45 miles south of Marrakesh, and it could be felt more than 200 miles away in Casablanca. Many buildings in the area near the epicenter were severely damaged or destroyed, not designed to withstand earthquakes.
There was a lot of damage that happened to a lot of buildings. Some of them are mosques, some of them are houses. A lot of communities got hurt.
A vast search and rescue operation now underway. Rescuers digging through the rubble, searching for any survivors. Residents in this small village already burying the dead. A family of 6 killed by the quake, this man says. Condolences pouring in from all around the world, including the leaders at the G20 summit in India. Several countries have offered to send in aid and rescue teams, though the Moroccan government has not yet formally asked for assistance, a step required before outside crews can be deployed. Tom Sufi Burridge, ABC News, Marrakesh.
And make sure you stay with Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of this deadly earthquake in Morocco. As we see more of the quake's impact, we'll make sure to keep you updated on air on the ABC 7 Los Angeles app and at abc7.com.
The situation in Morocco is catastrophic. I'm happy that the Moroccan government does not want receive another aid, another countries. It is difficult for me understand that the government in Morocco chose only some countries. There are many countries who want to help Morocco. It's difficult to understand. It's impossible. Right now, the Moroccan people need aid. In that moment, it's necessary to forget the enemy countries like Algeria. Algeria said he wants to help Morocco. The airplane can use his airspace to arrive in Morocco faster. But the Moroccan government said at the moment, no. Right now, the great enemy for the survivor is the time. So, please, Morocco government, open and receive every aid of the wide world. Almost 3,000 died. 3,000. I know the entire world wants to help Morocco, like the Turkey earthquake in February. I watched many news about this earthquake. In my feeling, it's difficult to describe it. I feel an empathy for the Moroccan people. I don't know. I think it's as impossible imagine to be there during the earthquake. Many people have lost their house, their family, and their life. So, please, Moroccan government, open the arms. You receive the aid, the international aid, please, for the Moroccan people. Thank you very much for watching my new video, subscribing on my channel, comment, sharing this video with your family, friends. I hope the Moroccan people can to watch this video. I want to dedicate this video for the Moroccan people in memoriam for the dead. Allah Akbar. Masalam.